soul. Easily pull up Tahitian treat, that purple lean. Easily get off your ass and go rehearse a dream. Decency, what you was taught, but you ain't worth a thing. Who'da thought we'd be alive? We come from worse of scenes. I'm an idol, come from the south side, I'm Luther King. These sick and spiteful, I'll never let them control the team. You cried, nobody cared, cause you not older thing. Who's there when you really need them to remote to sing? I be practicing big words and taking rich herbs. Health is wealth, you build a dynasty that you live to serve. Yeah, it's more in this world that you do deserve. With these morals, you outstand unequipped version. Life comes with a bigger test, you sticking out your chest. Nobody's scared of you, it's an act, and you know the rest. I know the real, and you hoping that God bless it. Do not be filled with attitude and become a lesson. My diamond's sacred, cause I grew up in a stronghold. My secret fire, I lay my thoughts, and only God knows. I can fight my battles better, I am macho. I just stand for my beliefs, I am not so. Easily pull up Tahitian tree, that purple lean. Easily get off your ass and go rehearse a dream. Decency, what you was taught, but you ain't worth a thing. Who'da thought we'd be alive? We come from worse of scenes.
From Feature Story News in San Francisco, I'm Ira Spitzer. Israel tells its troops they will see Gaza from inside soon.
Hey.
This time I know. There's no looking back. It's all in the past.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Keeping It 100. We are back. We were out last week. Sorry about that. I was sick.
I was almost out the door. I mean, I was like right at the door.
I mean, look, when I tell you I was so frustrated because my sister, my cousin, and her fiance took me to Houston for my birthday. Mm-hmm. And we celebrated my birthday in Houston. Had a great time, right? Was coming back and had to go through Denver. and our flight got delayed for like 45 minutes. So I went to charge my phone, and I was sitting in the midst of all these people, and I fell asleep. Woke up, got on the I think I hear that echo. I woke up and got on the flight. Was sick since then.
I tell you, I thought for sure. I was like, wait a minute, what? And then once I got the
I
message,
think I'm hearing the echo. Hold on. Let me
I'm hearing an echo too. Hey, 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 oh, hee, hee. I know I cut up from time to time, folks.
Is it all the way down? Is your
Mine's
volume-
all the way down. We're handling our technical difficulties right here, right now.
I still hear that echo. We apologize for that everybody. But anyway, I got sick, and I was sick. I was out of work from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So, but
As
I'm
long
back.
as you're doing good, that's all that
I'm
matters.
back. I feel better. It was just a bug. It wasn't COVID. It wasn't the flu. It wasn't a cold.
Great.
It was like something like a little virus, but I'm good.
Good.
So-
Good.
Yeah. But I'm back. And sorry to say, Jabari and Angelica not here tonight. You know, they had a situation they had to handle. So, hope that everything is going good with them. What you got going on?
Well, let's see. Shout outs. First to Shell and my cousin Chris, and also to someone that I met today. Me and my cousin met today at Perry's at the restaurant. Miss Susan, Nigerian young lady that had knowledge that made me smile, made me feel a little bit good today, and took me from a mood to a better place. And I really appreciate it. So I want to send a shout out to her. My daughter, Morgan, good job on what you did. Other than that, it's been about, traveling and hanging out with my cousin, going to these different festivals that have been happening in Triangle. Excuse me. Tomorrow, I'm going to the Das Oktoberfest in Charlotte.
You all over the
It's on
place.
Saturday, but I'm going to Charlotte tomorrow to get a head start. I was going to FSU's homecoming, but that changed. I decided, nah.
Shout out to Fayetteville State.
I love Fayetteville State.
My
I do.
girlfriend's son he plays football there.
I'm an alumni from Fayetteville State, and that's my school. They gave me a job, so I made it through school there, but. No, I'm not gonna hit their homecoming this year. Maybe next year. I was thinking about going to T's homecoming, but not gonna do that either. Just hanging out with my cousin, my twin cousin, who I don't really get to hang out with too much. But I had to hook it up with him this go around. So.
Well, you know what? Shout out to Aggie homecoming, upcoming. I think it's next week, a week after. Yeah, next week. Mm-hmm. It's Aggie, go Aggies. So
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride. I know my son ain't coming home. I won't see him the whole
No, you
week.
won't see him. You won't see him. Nope.
I already know. I'm not even asking him. I'm gonna give him a couple kisses tomorrow tonight or tomorrow when I see him, because I know it's gonna be a good week, and
Yes.
maybe even 2 weeks because he's gonna have to
God.
recover. So I know I'm not gonna see
They
him.
have a ball at T.
He DJs, so I know I'm not gonna see him.
God, when does Aggie not have a good homecoming? I mean,
They call it the greatest homecoming
it
on
is
earth.
the greatest. I thought it was a myth when I got there. When I got there and I started, when I first got to T in 2000, they would tell me about their homecomings. And, I was like,
It's not to be played with.
it is not. Because, Greenville's homecoming is not even close to T's. I mean,
Now
come
remember,
on.
now you was a year behind me. Mm-hmm. Right when the seniors started doing like applications for college, and we were doing these tours, they would take us to these different colleges, and they took us to A&T, right? During they had it wasn't homecoming. They did a step show,
Yeah.
and
Just
I
to entice you guys
promise
on
you,
over. Yeah.
the majority of us went to A&T because we hadn't seen nothing like it. We've been around ECU our whole lives, partied with them and everything. Never saw anything like A&T.
I never even, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I never even heard of Fayetteville State University until I was stationed there back in the early 90s.
Well,
But A&T, I had known about them since my freshman year at D.H. Conley. That was when I first heard of A&T. And from that point on, you know, even being stationed in Fayetteville and driving through A&T to go to places like Danville or Reedsville or Gretna, we would pass by Greensboro and we'd stop up there at T and just to look at the fraternity and sorority sidewalk, you know, that was up there by the theater up there, just to look at it, you know. So T has always had a special place in my heart, even before I even went to school there.
now, when was it? My son has been a diehard NC State fan since third grade. That's where he was going to go to school. He never wavered, never talked about another college, was not going to apply to another college. It was just set. His NC State was on his wall, bed sheets, everything. I said, well, at least go on these different college tours. Just go.
Yeah.
You don't have to, just go. Him and his best friend went to A&T. Needless to say, he didn't look at another college after that. That was where he was going. That's where he's at now. He's not moving. I'm like, you think he didn't come back to NC State for grad school? No.
What about that commercial?
What?
The commercial where the two parents are taking their son on a college tour, which one he wants to go to, and they go to all these different colleges. But then the very last one, he said, well, there's one more I want to check.
Yep.
And the one that he chooses is a car commercial.
Yeah.
And the one that he chooses is Aggie Pride.
Yep. When I saw the commercial, I was just like grinning from ear to ear.
I was grinning from ear to ear too, and it shows Greensboro. I was like,
people don't understand.
Oh, wow.
And don't get me wrong. Any college is going to be bad if you're not disciplined while you're there.
Yes.
If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing while you're there. We
Right.
get it. Okay.
Yeah.
But A&T, especially, they were in Drumline. Okay. So, funny story. We drop him off at college. So my parents, me and his dad, his sister, my parents, his girlfriend, his grandmother, my husband's mother,
Right.
all of us are there, right? His godfather is there, and I think his godmother was there too. And so anyway, she's in the dorm room and we're putting stuff up. We were all setting this room up, everybody's working together.
Right.
And she's like, wait, ain't this the school that was in Drumline? And James said, yeah, she in the hallway. Like, my son is going to this school. My grandson. My grandson's, I was like, really?
Yes.
She is just like the fact that she knew the school before he went to the school. It's just certain little bitty things just impress her.
Yeah.
And I mean, him going to A&T and she knows she's singing on TV, and I'm like, the band that sounds just like that. That's the band.
I give much love and respect to and my gratitude to A&T because when I graduated from basic law enforcement training here in North Carolina in Pitt County, where I was raised, you and I both raised in Pitt County. Went to school there. We were there from all our lives.
Yep.
But I couldn't get a job at any of the law enforcement agencies there because they wouldn't choose me.
Really?
They would not choose me for one bit. And yet Aggie came down to my not my graduation, but to watch me certify. And they hired me to come work with it. It was the first law enforcement agency in North Carolina to hire me while I was in the military to work at their
That's
university
good.
as a police officer. So I give them much gratitude, much
do.
respect. They get my love. Purely the second one that gave me a job right after that without a whole lot of vetting and a whole lot of hoopla and everything was Fayetteville State University. Every other law enforcement agency in this state was pathetic and didn't look at me at all. But those two universities helped me out,
good.
and to this day I will do more than do a whole lot as far as making sure they get donations and sending people to their school. They're the only ones that I would definitely tell people to go to and to seek. The rest of them, no.
My daughter's already determined. She's after her brother. When I tell you she's his twin, everything he does, she falls behind. But that's why I tell him you need to be a good example.
Yeah.
Because she looks at everything, and she's going to be going to A&T also. She's already decided that.
Good.
But hey, Miss Gina, how you doing? And
Good,
hey,
good.
Jennifer. A lot of different people are online right now. But and Miss Gina, if you still listening, I need to talk to you. Okay. But anyway, let's get into the topics for tonight because it's been a whole lot of hoopla online about this. And I got different perspectives. If you have a different perspective, please call in. Let us know. Talk to us. Let me move this camera because we got to get into this.
You need some space.
All right. So it's hard to believe we're going to. This is a whole topic tonight. Will and Jada. I got my own opinions. Okay. The first thing we're gonna talk about, I think the first one was loyalty in and after, or during and after a relationship. Okay. Now, me, if I'm in a relationship with you, during, complete loyalty. Okay, that's just me. I've always been a loyal person.
Right.
After the relationship, it kind of depends on how you treated me during the relationship.
Right.
Okay, because if you treated me like crap during the relationship, then honestly, the minute the relationship ends, so does my loyalty. And the reason I'm saying that is because it seems as if Jada is going out of her way to disrespect him. Out of her way to make him seem less of the mega superstar that we've come to know and love versus what she wants us to see. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see a current wife, and there's a part two to that part. I don't see a current wife saying or doing the things that she's done to her husband. So say you.
I've seen Jadas in my life. I've seen some Jadas in my life. Hell, I was married to a Jada. Her, she's in love with someone else, and he's dead. And when she had a chance to be with that person that she wanted to be with, she didn't. She chose. So she made a mistake. There was an error, but she made a mistake, and that's the mistake that she's made. She got with someone she didn't love, and now it's about money, it's about fame, it's about boosting herself because
Okay, wait. You said it's about money.
Jada, I'm talking about Jada, yeah.
Okay, money and fame. The only 3 people in this whole scenario that have money and fame is Will Smith.
Well,
She has fame, but her star has pretty much dwindled.
yeah, but she's a woman. So let's keep that. Let's
What does that
let's keep
have to
it
do with
real.
it?
Okay, she's a woman, all right, and she's a woman in Hollywood, and a woman, a famous woman for that matter. But yeah,
And-
she's a woman, and she's a black woman married to a black man in Hollywood. So yeah, whatever he has is hers, bar none. She done gave this man kids. She ain't lost nothing, so she's got more money than he has. And yeah, we all know Will, and it's like, well, Will's got this, and if you tally up, the basic or the minimum of it, yeah, it's like, yeah. But let's keep it real. A black woman in America married to a superstar, and she's a superstar herself, and she's got his children.
Now I'm gonna say this. You're
She's sitting on a
looking-
gold mine.
That may be true in some instances, as far as like with Michael Jordan. He did all these things that were proven.
Right.
His wife was not. She was quiet. She kept to herself. And she took half of it.
Right.
Okay.
And how did she take half of it?
She was an attorney.
Yeah, but that's one. But what's the
Yeah.
other reason?
But
What's the
he-
other side of
I
it?
think because of the cheating, all the things that he was doing.
No, her secrets.
What?
Her secrets. She understood. Most people only look at one side of a woman's secrets, the stuff that they're not being told that they want to know. But what about the stuff that they ain't even thought about, that she already has in her head? See, Jada ain't stupid. She knows. She know what she
Feedback
got.
is bad.
Michael Jordan's wife, she was pretty much like, okay, yeah, I got this and I got this, but I've got a little box over here, a little Pandora's box here that I can open up at any time that no one even knows about. You remember back in the days when your grandmother had her regular chest. She had her, what they call them, a hope chest? Okay, hope chest. And in that hope chest, there would be like a little bitty chest, a little bitty old thing, that like it's underneath other stuff. And in there was like the gifts of gifts, or the most valuables of valuables and stuff that no one really paid attention to. Well, that's what, Jada and Michael Jordan's wife have. They have that underneath thing that they can always pull out at the last minute.
Well, see, and that's the point I was making about with Jada. Okay, so Jada has told everything. Some things I think she's just making up. I think some things are what she wishes to be true, that she's confused reality with her own fantasy world. And me, and if I was Will, and I see where this is heading, all these little nuggets I'm putting to the side, so that when it does end up in court, this is what she has her own money. You know what I'm saying? Our kids are now grown. Each one of them has their own money also.
True.
So I don't even see a reason why they would even split anything. And if I was him, take the house.
Yeah, that's like hopes and prayers and
I'm
wishes
sorry, I'm moving
again.
this camera back and forth. I'm trying to find a place where we don't have so much feedback.
Yeah,
I
that's
can hear it.
again like hopes, prayers, and wishes. We wish that would happen. We hope that would happen. We pray that this would happen. But the bottom line, though, all that is this.
Yeah.
You got to look at who Jada is and where she started out from. This girl's from Baltimore.
Yeah, and the person that she played on Different World,
Yeah.
to me, is not far from the character that she really is.
Exactly.
The hustler.
Hell, the only reason she even got that part is because of her looks.
Yeah.
I mean, let's keep it real. She didn't have any acting ability, and to this day, don't get it twisted. The only thing I ever saw her in that I thought that she was really good in was Woo,
Yeah.
and that's the only thing that she deserved
played the
an
same-
Oscar in.
the same character that she played in Different World, she played in Low Down Dirty Shame. It was the same kind of character,
Yeah, same kind of character.
the hood character, you
Yeah.
know. And now she was good in The Matrix, of course.
I don't think so.
I mean, I'm not a Matrix
Woo?
fan.
Wu, I thought she was.
Wu was good.
Oh God, yeah. She played a like a 2-dimensional character where it was like, whoa, she's not playing this thug that we're used to seeing, and she's not playing Miss Helpless. She's playing this. I mean, her TV series wasn't even all that good.
Hawthorne.
Even when she played in Gotham, she wasn't all that good. She played that
I still have
thug.
not yet to see that.
Yeah, it was terrible. She was a terrible actress in
But
that.
now I see.
But-
What other was?
But
other
Wu?
movie? What was the other movie she did? You just talking
Gotham.
about- not Gotham.
The Doctor series where she played the Doctor.
with Eddie Murphy.
Um,
The Clumps.
the Clumps and the Clumps.
Now, even then, she tried to play the upscale doctorate teacher kind of person.
Yeah.
And even then, it was like, and don't get me wrong, I like Jada.
Mm-hmm.
Jason's Lyrics is one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Jason Lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
But even in Jason's Lyrics, she played attitudinal, ghetto little hood. You know, she not hood rat, but she played this
That type
type. It's
person that
always
we knew in school.
She's typecast.
Inkwell.
to
Yeah,
where
she in the
all of
Inkwell.
her- yeah.
In the Inkwell, she played that same type of character in the
And
Inkwell.
I get it, you know,
Yes.
and like I said, but she's done more than what most of us have done. So more props to you. You know what I'm saying? But now,
That's because of her looks. The only reason that you and I are not Oscar winners right now is because of our looks. Our looks did not
Match
go
what
with
Hollywood
what Hollywood would want. Right.
and which is one reason off topic why I love the girl from How to Get Away with Murder.
Me and Cheryl were talking about
can't
that
think
the
of
other
it.
day. You talk.
But the
Say it
episode,
again.
Yeah, but the episode where she had her hair
Doggone
done
it.
and she just pulls her wig off and her hair is braided,
Mm-hmm.
like most of us have when we have our wigs and our weave in. They're
Yes.
braided up.
Yes.
But then she showed us when she was crying, like you saw her real.
Mm-hmm.
And she was not this beautiful, flawless person that Hollywood would go for.
Right.
They gave her that moment where she was just raw, you know. And I mean, there was no makeup. You saw the imperfections in her face. You know what I'm saying? There was
Yes.
no eyelashes, no nothing.
Right.
But that's not what Hollywood was looking for in the 80s, in the 90s, in the early 2000s. It's just now coming around in like mid 2000s where those kind of characters are like the girl from The Help
Yes.
that played the maid.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't typing for those characters. Everybody, even down to the maid, was gorgeous.
Yes.
And I think, and it does a little to people's, you know, these people who are out here trying to perfect their craft when you're basically put up against somebody with no talent but better looks than you,
Right.
and it goes to them. So, but anyway, I think that, and I'm gonna say this, and people might say I'm wrong. I don't know if Will and Jada had an open relationship where he was cheating and she was cheating, or won't cheating if they knew about it. But I'm not saying he's never been with anybody outside of Jada. I'm not saying that. If he has, it's his business. If that's her business.
Mm-hmm.
However, I will say that if he has, his side chicks have more loyalty and respect than his wife does.
Exactly.
Because you haven't heard about none of them. None of them.
Yeah, and Jada makes black women look bad.
Right now, she's making black women look horrible.
Yeah.
There's no
You
way.
got a lot of people you got a lot of blacks that would make black people look bad. Last night, I got to throw this one in because it kind of goes in line with that. Last night, me and my cousin were at this restaurant in Winterville, and this young black guy wanted to get irate and wanted to show bravado and get angry because I asked him his last name. And this is in a white restaurant in front of the white oyster shuckers. He got so upset because he was asked, well, what's your last name and everything? Because you look familiar. We could be related. He got so angry and so upset that he waited for about right before he was ready to go to talk about it. You shouldn't ask people their last name. Young black guy and everything. So you got folks
warrants?
like them. Jada's no different. They make black people look bad and everything by the way they act, the way they talk.
But what she's trying to do to me is like, and don't get me wrong, I know we have heroes in our black history.
Yes.
Okay. I know we have those heroes that we look up to, and everybody is not perfect.
Right.
Okay. So now, 50 years later, 40 years later, people are coming out, well, Martin Luther King did this, and y'all didn't know he was doing this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm X, he was doing this. Y'all didn't know he was doing that.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. But does that negate everything that he was doing professionally? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get it. Everybody's not perfect. Like, I want to someday help change the world too.
Right.
Are you going to look back and say, well, you know what? When she was in her 40s, she did this and she did that. She won't know goody two shoes. So, don't get me wrong. I don't want people to uphold people. Prime example. We talk about this all the time. R. Kelly. Right now, he's going to be known to this younger generation as the one that went to jail, the pedophile.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The abuser or whatever.
Right.
To us, when we first think of R. Kelly, the trial is not the first thing that comes to our mind.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that comes to our mind is 12 Play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Summer Bunnies, all the songs that he did in our era that we grew up with,
Yes.
So, and I get it. People one day is going to like, I'm going to be great grandmother sitting around and my kids going to be like, that guy.
And I'll still be listening to R. Kelly in my 90s. Give me that.
I'm
Look,
like,
I have no
ain't
teeth.
That guy.
Give me that honey, bub.
But ain't that the guy that did this, did that? I'm like, look, what he did had nothing to do when he was in the booth singing that song.
Exactly.
I said, I'm looking at his voice. I'm looking at the talent. The same way you ain't judging, what's his name, Elvis and all the rest of them. Don't come over here with that.
Exactly.
Because I'm not defending him in a case.
Yeah.
I'm listening to his music.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, but to me, Jada's now trying to tear down and I'm speaking figuratively, a black monument in black culture.
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith was the one actor that didn't have any scandals, didn't have any cheating rumors. I mean, the rumors were around that they had an open relationship, but nobody ever said, I slept with Will Smith.
Right.
He was the same way on set as he was in person. He was personable. He was always laughing. He was a very happy person.
Right.
And it's like you sat in your shell after your career kind of dwindled a little bit.
Yes.
And you sat here and then you got the opportunity to do Red Table Talk. Okay. Everybody loved it at first. You were bringing these people in, you were talking, and it was a good talk, a good show.
Right.
But then you turned it into a joke when you brought him in pretty much to explain what you did to him.
Right.
Now it's like everybody got over that. It was hot for a minute. Now everybody forgot about it. And now you're just dragging, not necessarily dragging his name, but the things that you're saying. I'm a representation of my husband. So what I say, what I do, what I wear is a reflection of the man that I'm with. And if I'm out here, but what they say, if you for the streets, oh, we got a caller. 1 second. Hello. Thanks for calling Keeping It 100. This is Ursula. Who am I talking to?
Hi, Angela. Hi, it's Michelle. How are you?
Hey, Michelle. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I hope you are.
I'm doing good. You calling in to talk about our topic tonight?
Well, of course. Potato sickens me.
Honey, we're all over the same porcelain bowl throwing up about her mess. What you got going on?
Well, I am. You know, the thing, envy and jealousy
There you go.
will cause people to do things that emasculate
Yeah.
other people. But my dad has a saying, never argue with an idiot. People looking on won't know which one the idiot is.
There.
That's right.
All we're to do is just keep being quiet.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing.
To the whole world, that she's the issue.
And that's what Will Smith is doing. He hasn't said a word.
He hasn't said a word. Yeah, you're right.
He doesn't have to because he's built his reputation.
Makes us as white women look bad.
Oh gosh.
Our men are not perfect, but it is our responsibility to uphold our men.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly. They come to us, and I'm a firm believer, like I was just talking about, we're a representation of the men that we're with. And I can't be out here, what will they say, for the streets and got my man at home. You know what I'm saying? People looking at him like, yo, lady out there with God knows what on, twerking and dancing on guys and doing all this other stuff. And he's home, maintaining my home. He's paying the bills. He's taking care of me and my kids. And I'm out here, wilding out in the streets. And she literally is trying to drag him. And I was looking for the word, but you said emasculate. She's been trying to emasculate him since the whole August Alsina episode. It was said you can't. And like I said, I did like Jada. I like Jada. The most recent thing she did was Girls Trip, which I love the movie. But like I said, I'm gonna the same way I was talking about R. Kelly, I can like his music and not like his personal life. I love the movie some of the movies that she's done. However, you are not my favorite person.
I never thought that she was a good actress. Anyway, like I said, the only thing I ever saw her she was really good in was Woo, and it was how she played that 2-dimensional character. But everything else she's played in has been, like what? And you can see why Will hasn't had her in any of his stuff.
Yeah,
and
I think
everything.
the only movie she did was Ali. She was with him in Ali.
Yeah, she was in Ali.
Yeah, she was in Ali with
yeah.
him.
Okay. I see. I didn't even remember that because she was such a bad actress. Yeah, but I will say this. I know
You being an actor, you can judge the skillful actors and actresses a whole lot more than someone that doesn't act. So that's your gift as well. So when I see those things, I see
You got headphones?
those good roles in those movies. But as a person, just as a woman. She is not.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Michelle, can you hear us?
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Oh, we couldn't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Hello, Shell?
Hear you.
Okay. I will say
Trying to
this.
put it in the headphones.
The problem with this, with Will Smith though brought a lot of that, brought the whole table down when he smacked Chris Rock. That should not have happened.
Michelle, can you say something real quick?
It should not have happened.
It's real low.
I don't even hear it at all.
Yeah, I don't hardly hear it all.
That should not have happened.
Miss Michelle, can you hear us?
I
Yoo-hoo.
can.
Michelle,
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
should call back. Michelle, if you can, hang up and call back.
And anyone else that wants to call, please.
Anybody
call
else
in.
wants to call in and give their opinion, 919-899-9305. There it goes.
Before until she comes back.
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear
That was
me?
Until she comes back, I will say this.
Still can't hear.
You know, this Will Smith smacking Chris did not make things any better. You
No.
know, he should not. He was on a roll by not doing and he was on a roll. He did not have to fall prey to that just because a guy made a joke. I mean, come on, he's a comedian. But when he took it to that level, that was pretty much it. And it's kind of like when someone, you can have a beautiful day. You know, you're outside and it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining, the sky is blue, and you got kids playing in a park somewhere, and everything just seems to be going great. And you're just happy as a lark, right? But then somebody comes walking by and they pass gas right there in front of you. Now your whole day, your whole day is ruined because of that one little incident,
Absolutely, that would ruin my day.
I can barely hear her.
Can you hear me?
She's still there. I just can barely hear her.
I'm here.
Call back.
Say something, Michelle.
Sounds like a fire alarm. Oh well.
Now I hear a beep. Oh, that's a phone.
Shouldn't be mine. Mine is all the way down. Okay. Michelle says she can hear you fine, but she says she hung up.
Okay.
Okay.
But so we may have to go. One of us might have to go off.
Okay. Let me. Okay.
Hold on, let me see. Might be able to bring you back.
Okay. I shut mine down.
Okay, so the feedback is gone. I'm gonna try back in a minute to add you back.
Okay.
But yeah, like you said, he didn't have to fall prey to the whole Chris Rock situation.
Yeah.
Totally, completely wrong.
Yeah.
Should he have been punished for that? Absolutely, because you don't just go up and put your hands on somebody else.
Right.
Okay. Because in true Will Smith fashion, I would assume he would have went backstage and confronted him, because you are a mega star.
Yes.
Okay. Way beyond anybody that was probably in that room. Okay. And to lower yourself for someone who was not even worthy of that, you know what I'm saying? And even then, and you would have thought that he did that. Everybody know he did that for her.
Yeah.
And then a couple of months later, she says she don't know why he did that.
Well, let's understand the power of the woman. I mean, let's look
There
at
you
it.
go.
The power
There you
of
go.
women when it comes to men. I mean,
I don't
Kirk,
see it.
James T. Kirk from Star Trek succumbed to everything that came to women. It's, women are not men. They don't understand.
Okay.
Y'all don't even have to touch us most of the time. It's just the way you look, or the way you smile, or the way
I
you
understand that, but
it affects. But it
I've been in situations where my boyfriend and my husband
yes.
have been in situations where a guy tried to talk to me, or he was getting a little handsy, or something to that effect. Okay. And although they were, I've had one break somebody's face, broke jawbone.
Yeah.
I've had one literally almost shoot somebody, and I get it. I get what you're saying. But at the same time, as a woman, as their woman at the time,
Right.
I'm like, no, because that is not worth the consequences that's going to come behind that.
Right.
So instead of her grabbing his arm, nah, where you going? What you doing? Sit down.
She should have done that.
Yeah,
And she did not do
just
that.
that
She
simple.
should have. She
Because
should
look,
have done
that simple gesture would have solidified their relationship in public. One, it would have showed that one, he was willing to defend her, but two, she was willing to defend him.
Or she should have just done what she would have done with anyone else, and that was laugh.
Thank you.
If it had been a white comedian like Billy Crystal, who had said something to that effect,
It would not have went down
it wouldn't
that
have
way.
went that far.
No.
If he had said the same joke, if Billy Crystal had said the same joke to her, or Jim Carrey, the same joke to her, and I'm not even gonna say The Rock, because we all know Rock will whoop Will, but we're not saying that. We're let's use something simple like those two guys. I'm telling you, she would have just laughed. Will would have just laughed. Nobody would have been smacked. But because it was what America considers to be an ugly, short, black male, okay, then yeah, he's worthy of being smacked. But she would have laughed at his jokes.
Yeah.
If it had been one of
Anybody
those
else.
other two guys.
Anybody else.
And I think that
If it had been- if it had been-
Will should have.
If it had been Kevin Hart,
Yeah, Will should have. And again, this is me. Hope, prayer, wish. Hope, prayer, wish. But I have to look at what Will is, and what Will is. Will is a male. He's a man. And men, and I'm talking about men, their weakness when it comes to women is unbelievable.
yeah,
And it will make you,
people have
at the
been
end of the
killed
day,
for less.
at the end of the day, a man will look at himself in the mirror and be like, how in the world did I get to this point? Why am I this way? He looks at himself in the mirror and says, am I weak? Am I strong? Some people tell me I'm strong for being this way. Some people tell me I'm weak for being this way. What is wrong with me? This is not who I was. This is not what I am. I'm this way. But when she is there and she comes in the room, if she's in the vicinity, or even if he's thinking about her, he is a different person. Pheromones.
I think
Pheromones
they
mess with
said
the
that
what?
Mind. Yeah.
And the
But
mind is a funny
They did
thing.
say it was one, she was going live in the house one day when it just showed how much she irritates him.
Yeah.
Because she went live in the house one day and didn't tell him.
Right.
And was trying to put the camera in his face.
Yeah.
And he was literally, stop. Just
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
And she kept following him. Yeah, kept trying to follow him.
Men don't like giddy. Okay, at least not heterosexual men. I don't know what homosexual men, if they like giddy all the time. I don't know. I don't spend a whole lot of time with them, but I do know that heterosexual men do not like giddy. They are not. Regardless, you can have a woman that is just happy and just jumpy and like, let's do this, and deep down your man is like, please stop.
Yeah.
This is really making me sick.
He will succumb to whatever you want to do just so you'll settle down.
Just so you will settle down.
No.
It's like,
True. Very
you're
true.
happy about this. I get it. You're jumping up and down. You're all smiles. You want to sing songs that I don't even like singing, at least not anymore. And you're just being this way, and you're making me sick. But, and I wish you would stop. And they continue on, and now it's making him angry.
Yeah.
And he, you got to understand that their behavior will affect their. Isn't it true? Okay, my cousin was telling me that dogs can detect people's anxieties.
Yeah.
What if men detect and women
Yeah.
detect? What if it's that way?
Well, I think that you know, and I'll take me for an example. I had to learn my man. Okay. When he came home, I get home before him. So of course I've picked the kids up from school. I've started doing homework or whatever. I've started dinner and I've done all these things. So when he comes home, I'm ready to, okay, look, so-and-so got something tomorrow. They got this. They got, and so I'm ready to unload some of that burden that I've had to take onto him the minute he walked in the door.
Right.
And he literally had to tell me, and it took a while, you know what I'm saying? I will admit it, but he had to tell me, look, all I ask you is give me 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He said, when I walk in the door, just give me 15 minutes. And he literally, I swear, he would walk from the door down the hall to his office, close it. He would say hey to all the kids on the way to the office, close the door. Mommy, I said, don't go back there and bother your dad. Give it, you know. And usually about 15, 30 minutes, I'd be finished cooking. You know what I'm saying? So I would not only give him 15 minutes, I would wait until dinner was done.
Right.
Okay, so he's back there for like maybe he done got in his chair, let's look at that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get it. And I was like, okay. But the difference was versus us bickering and arguing when he came in the door, when he came for dinner, he said he ate dinner and we was talking or whatever. And then I would wash the dishes, you know, I would start talking to him at dinner.
Right.
And the bad stuff I would leave for afterwards. You know what I'm saying? But I would tell him all the good stuff during dinner. And I'd wash the dishes up. He's in there watching TV. When it's time to go to bed, I'll start mentioning it then, you know, because he ain't got enough energy to argue after that. So
Right.
I'm telling him, you know, so you have to kind of learn how to
Yeah.
deal with your partner. And he knows if, and I kind of, like you said, that you kind of got that sixth sense like a dog.
Yeah.
I knew when he had to tell me something he didn't want to tell me because of the way he acted that was not normal.
Yes.
The whole, he would come in and kiss and hey, you know, but then when he come in and be like, hey, you know,
Yeah.
like this and kind of pat one time too many, you know, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Nothing. And I'm like, okay. And I look at your mannerisms because I'm a person that studies people.
Right.
I know when you're acting different. My kids can't tell me something's not wrong. I see it. And so
Yes.
now I just sit back, I wait. Eventually, be it 1:00 in the morning when I'm trying to go to bed, Mom, I need to talk to you. Then they want to let it out, you know. But with her, she seems to be looking for attention, not only from the public, but from him. So she wasn't getting it the regular way.
I don't think she was looking for attention from Will.
I
Honestly think she doesn't like the boy.
She wants him to react in a way that Tupac would have reacted. She wants him to act in a way that a average male who has pretty much nothing to lose
Yeah, there you
would
go.
act. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing to lose.
And he's like, I have a reputation to uphold. I can't be wilding out and doing all this crazy stuff, you know. So I think it took him everything in him to do the red table talk that night.
Yeah.
Because the look on his face was like, I'm doing this for whatever reason she said or they came to an agreement about. Because he did not literally want to be, he did not want to be there.
No, but again, you know, she has that power over him. He's always wanted her. A lot of us men have been in situations where there was someone that we have always wanted. You know, that one person, that one female that we've always wanted, and we you know, that was the one. Even though she may have been married and had kids and have moved on with her life and stuff like that, you know, he never really gets over that. It's that one he wants. And some of us get lucky and we get the one that we wanted, you know, the one that we wanted first and never thought, it was not even a thought that you would even get that, but you get it. Some people get that.
And it's not
There's
always
some
what
that
you,
don't.
it's not always what you
And
crack- what it's
Will
cracked
was
up to be.
lucky. Will was one of those guys that he wanted her. That's who he wanted, point blank, and she knew it. And he even got married after, letting her know what he felt about it. He even got married. She basically introduced him to his first wife, and everything. And so he ends up with his first wife, and then they still hanging out, and then eventually he ends up with what he wants. But you know what they say? Be careful what you wish for.
Exactly. Now, I will say this, and she wants this average Joe thug looking, and I will say my husband kind of fits squarely in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The wind blow hard, he can go one way or the other.
Right.
And that's the kind of guy that I typically went for back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I want, the hood for a minute, you know what I'm saying? But like you say, most guys want a chick they can take to the White House and to the down to the pool hall.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
As long as they had a Jerry curl and a nice car. Sorry, Derek. Derek, I had to go there. Sorry, bub.
I hope he is not watching. Oh my God, he was.
He's watching.
I told you, Derek.
Derek, I love you, man. You know I love you, Derek.
Every show, he brings your name up every show. I'm gonna get you.
Derek gonna be driving around Greenville looking for me now.
I mean, but literally, it was that. He was the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He came from that family that, like my family, the 2-parent household, and we went to church every Sunday, and we did this, we did the holidays. Mm-hmm. But when we were away from home, Derek wasn't a little cookie cutter guy.
Nope.
That his parents knew. You know what I'm saying? All of my boyfriends were kind of like that. It was like away from home, he was little street. You know. So I think that. Like you say, be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, be careful what you ask for.
Because you, like you said, you get it. Now, I don't know. She's lucky she has the man that she does have for many different reasons. But number one, had you done any of the things to Tupac that you did to Will Smith?
Oh, it wouldn't even happen.
You wouldn't even.
I mean, let's keep that real.
That's
probably why that's probably why she didn't get up with him in the begin with, because she knew and
she
everything.
Knew.
He was dangerous.
She was too mouthy to be with Tupac. She was way too mouthy and too attitudinal to be with Tupac.
Oh yeah.
Both of them can't be the guy in the relationship, No. And what turned me off from her the very first time was the whole having her daughter write letters to Tupac after he's dead. After he's dead. I'm like, that's just, to me, you're just like poking the bear now.
Well, she's just messed up in the head. Jada's just messed up in it. But there's a lot of folks like that are just like her. I mean,
So now that we brought up Tupac, that's going to lead into our next question. Revisiting old relationships. I'm not saying I would never, but I have never dated a guy, broke up with him, or he broke up with me, moved on to another relationship or whatever, and then came back to that relationship. Have you?
Mm-mm. I've never. I've dated women that, we broke up for about a month or two, and she hooked up with someone else, and then we got back together like that.
No, I'm talking about an actual ex.
No, I've never.
Is there anybody that you thinking that you would actually was a person you would go back to? No names, just anybody in particular.
No, there's no one that there's no one that that was my ex that I would go back to, because I know how they are, I know how they think, I know what they've done, and even if they've changed, the fact that what we went through, I haven't really gotten over with, and I'm honest enough to say that, there's a lot of things that I have been through with folks I haven't gotten over. And, it's just, hey, you screwed up, and it's hard for me to forgive
I will say this.
that.
And I know people like, no, you lying. And they can call if you know any of them, you can tag them.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
call if you know
But-
if you know me and you say call me. I go on,
You said,
let's
hey,
hash it
Dad.
out right.
Your dad was
Nah.
online? You said, hey, Dad. Your dad was online?
Yeah, my dad was watching.
Hey, Pop.
Dad was watching.
But no, I will say this. And people like, all of my exes, I am friends with every ex I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
From down to middle school all the way up to me and my husband now.
Right.
Because, and I'll say this. And it's not being...
Now, when you say relationship, are you talking about relationship or are you talking about sex?
No, I'm talking about relationship. Like
Okay.
actual...
And
we
the
was in
sex
love,
involved.
and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, it took me a long time to understand my worth. And even to now, I've dealt with things that I should never have dealt with.
Right.
But I'll tell any of my exes. It may not be now, next year. It could be 10 years from now.
Right.
But one day, and you not saying you won't be happy in your life or that you've moved on. None of that. But it's going to be one day you're going to be like, you know what? I really, really should have did better by her.
Or
because
him.
Or him. Because she was a good person.
Right.
I'm like, you're going to miss me one day. You're going to be like, dang. It could be the next relationship where, all the things you took for granted that I did do, and this person doesn't do it. I've had a guy call me and say, you know what? Man, she just don't. And I'm like, really? You want to call me and cry on my shoulder about what this chick ain't doing that I used to do? Not going to happen. But we're all friends. Right. I'm friends with all of them. I care about all of them. We can all have a conversation. We can laugh. There's no animosity. Because once I move on, I let go of any of the animosity, the hurt, all that stuff, the disrespect. I let all of it go.
I still have trouble with that, because me personally, because there's a lot of anger there. There's a lot of stuff that took place that just, most people say that can be rectified, but you weren't in our situation, and you don't know what transpired. The some of the issues that took place involved other people and everything, and they chose sides. And when they chose sides, I mean, you're talking about people that were friends with you when y'all two were together or before y'all were together, but because they chose a side, even those who chose my side against the other individual, I mean, I can't see you. There's no coolness with that no more. There's no friendliness with that no more, because you basically told on you laid your cards out on the line. So it's hard for me to be cool and friends and to have a relationship with someone that I had a relationship with. Sex, now, well, that was another thing. Now, if we had sex or something like that, but we didn't have a relationship, it was just like, hey, look, what you doing? I ain't doing nothing. Well, come on over and everything, and
that's
hook
the
it
thing.
up. That's one thing. But a relationship, that's something where you're sharing everything. You're talking
emotions,
about money,
dreams,
emotions,
money,
thoughts,
exactly.
dreams. I'm
All
telling
that.
you my secrets. You telling me yours. We're sharing that. That really. You met my folks. I met your folks. Your folks became my mom and dad.
Yep.
My folks became your mom and dad. Vice versa. That is that's very close. But sex, that's a different beast.
I mean, like when she has this fantasy about Tupac, and I get it. A lot of times, women. I don't know if men do this. A lot of times, women will romanticize a relationship that they didn't have, kind of almost had, and make it more of what they wanted it to be than what it truly was. Because now she's saying Tupac proposed to her when Tupac was engaged to what was her dad's name? Famous guy. He was engaged to her when he got shot. and when he died. So how is it that he proposed to you in that time frame if he was with somebody else? Does that make sense?
Well, Jada is up in age. She's what, in her 50s?
Yeah, but you're romanticizing about, first of all, somebody who died on my birthday back in '96.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was at home.
Maybe she's suffering from early dementia or something like
I
that.
don't know.
There's no
but
telling.
I think a lot of women do that though.
A lot of women do
they
that.
fantasize about a relationship and make it seem better than what it was.
Oh, yeah.
So, case in point, my fiance from Germany. I love him. God rest his soul. He passed away a couple years ago on New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And when I left, other than my high school sweetheart, my first real relationship away from home where we was staying together and, all this other stuff. When he did what he did, it literally broke me. I have never been broken before.
Right.
That man broke me.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me months, okay, to get over that initial not leaving the room. Of course I had to go to work in the military. Mm-hmm. I didn't eat. I didn't go to the cafeteria to eat. I ate in my room. Whatever I ate in the microwave. It came from the microwave for months. Okay? He broke up with me on my 20th birthday. Mm-hmm. My 20th birthday. Okay? So, fast forward almost 20 years, we reconnected on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Okay? He still had the same habits that he had then, which, of course, contributed to his death. And I flirted with the idea, okay? Because once you reconnect with somebody, you remember you start talking about all the times that you had. You reminisce about the good things that happened, all the fun times you had.
Yes.
But I literally had to sit down and go back and think about what I went through. Mm-hmm. Okay? And it took off those blinders.
Kadita Jones. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it took off those blinders. Yeah. Like, it wasn't peaches and cream when y'all were together.
Right.
Remember this happened. Remember that happened. That person did this. That person there that's talking to you did these things to you.
That's right.
So I had, and it put me back into perspective when I'm like, you know what? I am not 20 years old anymore. I have kids to look after. I have kids, I have a whole household I'm taking care of. And that does not fit in my world. So although I love you, although we can still kick it and talk and have fun on the phone, whatever, we see each other, we see each other. But as far as a relationship, nah, we're not doing that.
Right.
You're
right.
So, and I think that she's grasping for something. I don't think she feel like she has any relevance because now she's wrote a book.
You're right.
And nobody writes a book overnight. Okay? So she has a whole book now, which means she has been working on this for a minute.
Yeah. Either that or she got someone to write it for her. She just sat there and told him what was up.
Exactly. But the most profound thing is Will Smith has not mumbled one word.
Will Smith is still grieving. I think he's still grieving and mumbling over what he did. His mindset ain't totally on Jada. It's on what he did.
And what
that night. That night
in.
is never gonna
haunting
leave him, and it plays with him
all the
daily.
time. Yep.
It plays. It's gonna play with him until the cows come home, until he is dead and gone. He'll be 90 if he makes it to 90 years old, and if he's sitting in his deathbed, he gonna be laying there and he's gonna be thinking about that situation. There's always an episode in our lives
that
where
you got to play
that you will play over and over and over again. My great grandma. Tell you how far this stuff goes back. My great grandmother, when she was 6 years old, was whooped by the mistress of the house that she was a slave at for falling asleep while watching her child. Now she's a 6-year-old girl watching a toddler. The toddler sleep, she sleep, but when the missus come back to the house and sees her sleep in front of her kids, she beats her with a horse strap and left marks on her back, on her back that stayed there from the time she was 6 years old until the day she died. Well, this woman, from the time she got those beatings by this woman until the day she died, sang. Okay? She sang about it. About that beating, about that night. It's in her obituary about how she got beaten. So, things that have a big issue in your life that's just magnificent, if you will, like what happened with Will, it's going to stay with you. And that is what he's trying to nurse. That was a serious wound that he dealt to himself. And
it was a blow to the image that he's spent his life creating.
Yeah.
And it was like, like with me, you would never hear me disrespect any of my elders. Okay. And I just don't, if I was to ever be out of character and do that, that would haunt me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't, and I think, like you said, he's reached out to Chris. Chris wasn't ready to talk.
Yeah.
Which you can't blame him.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, as much as it haunts you, he endured it.
Yeah.
His family was there and witnessed it.
But the whole planet.
And his brother Tony Rock was not having it.
Look, the whole planet witnessed that. You can never take that back. There's
now,
nothing
I will say
really.
this, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but there was somebody said that just seems so familiar. There's an old video of and it's old, so it was before this. It's a very old video of a comedian on stage. He says something about a female in the audience. The guy that she's with comes on stage, smacks him, walks back, sits down, and he says out of his mouth, so-and-so just smacked the out of me. And I was like, okay, wait a minute now. That's kind of odd that and it was an award show. Google it. Just Google it.
I will.
And because I'm like, because everybody thought it was staged at first. Lupita, the one that played in Black Panther as Black Panther's girlfriend.
Yes.
She was sitting behind them. And when he did it, at first, the audience thought it was
Thought it was staged.
a stage.
I thought it was
Until he
staged at first.
said, keep my wife's name out your so-and-so mouth.
Yeah, the look on his eyes was just clear.
He meant it.
Yeah, the look on his eyes and the way he was looking at was, and yeah, he's a good actor, but nah.
Not that good.
Yeah, that's...
You saw, and I will say, you saw a husband at that moment.
Yeah.
And
what you saw is what you saw is a prideful child, someone that was prideful, bravado. He went into a stage like that of a person having a tantrum. And I lost all respect for Will at that point because he was the hope, the dream. He was what I was like, okay, bro, don't worry about them talking about your rap. Don't worry about them talking about your image.
He
Maintain.
didn't enjoy none of that. I mean, he didn't worry about none of that stuff.
And now when he did that, it took me aback. Imagine if you will, that Jesus Christ, okay, just decided at that point in time that he was supposed to die for everybody, and the first time somebody came up with that whip to hit him, he stopped and said, oh no,
I'm come down from here. I'm gonna
And
show you
he
exactly
just
what I'm
starts
all about.
lightning striking everybody. And after I ain't doing this,
Yeah,
why would I do this?
I think the
How
Bible
much?
took a different turn.
What would people What would people think then?
And I think the fact that what confused me.
Oh wait! I got one more.
Yeah.
One more.
Yeah.
What if? And I'm saying what if? Okay.
Okay.
President Obama.
Oh, we wanted him to. So I mean, I can't even. argue
I'm
with
just
that.
saying, what if?
I can't even argue because I'm like,
Imagine how people would. What if Martin Luther King? I'm not talking about the King, okay? While he was alive, though, did one thing.
again.
If he picked up, if he said, "I'm not gonna put up with this no more," and he grabbed a gun and just went, what would happen?
But see, I think the weight of everything on him broke. You know what they say? Literally, the straw that broke the camel's back. The straw.
Mm-hmm.
This man, they talked about, oh, his rap is weak, but I'm like, who was the first person to ever, hip hop? First hip hop rapper to ever win was it an Emmy?
Yeah,
Emmy? Who was the first one? Him.
yeah, him.
Very first one.
Yes.
If you're out
Yes.
here, is it Emmy? I know Oscars is the movies.
Yeah, Oscars movie. Emmys are the
Music.
No, Grammys is the music.
Grammys.
Emmys
Grammy,
is
Grammy.
TV series.
Yeah, Grammy.
Yeah,
So
because
he was the first ever rapper to win a Grammy.
Mm-hmm.
And
But we know why.
why.
I mean, listen to his rap versus all the other rappers.
But now rap has evolved since then.
yeah, but prior, still though, if you want to,
And this is
set up
before
if you want to set up a good
NWA
rapport,
and-
you're not gonna choose Chuck D.
No.
Who's telling you the truth? You're not gonna choose Rakim, who's the baddest rapper.
But-
and I gotta say this for the public to know: Rakim is still, and by far, he is the baddest rapper to ever live.
wait.
So,
But wait. But
I
wait.
just had to put that out there.
Will Smith's music spanned across all genres. Everybody
It did.
listened to his music.
Yeah, everybody listened to his music, so that's why he won.
And I think
right.
that's why these
Because he
rappers
wasn't dangerous
only,
with his music.
These rappers only get BET Hip Hop Awards.
He wasn't changing people's minds for the better. He wasn't starting something called woke. He wasn't doing anything that was talking about shoot the police.
But
he wasn't.
But his music was all about. It was more or less a unity kind of thing of people coming together and singing the same thing, having a good time, laughing.
His music
Summertime,
wasn't-
the best
right.
song of all time.
His music wasn't dangerous.
Exactly.
So yeah, it wasn't, and if you're waking people up, yeah, that's a danger.
But wait,
if you're
it's also now and that's the fine line that we have to watch, because his music wasn't dangerous.
yeah.
NWA's music was dangerous because
Yes.
it talked about police brutality in the streets. However, wait.
So was Rakim's.
Wait. Yeah, Rakim too. Wait, but now.
So was KRS-One.
But now you move over to another danger.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't about waking us up. It's about putting us back to sleep. This music that they have out right now,
Okay.
it doesn't educate. Okay? It doesn't wake you up. It doesn't unite.
You're right.
It does absolutely nothing. So it went
It's
from
not even music.
It went from unity to woke
Yeah.
to danger.
It's not even music, and it's because, and I blame the parents.
Yeah.
I blame the parents for, and it's not about telling your kids, no, you can't listen to that type of music. No, what you need to do is sit down with your kid, listen to the music, and explain to them what is it that fascinates you about that, and break it down to its lowest level, and tell them this is what they're saying. This is what it's all about. Is that the type of person that you want to be? If you don't do that with your children listen to this crap.
Yeah.
Then then you can't sit and blame the music industry for that, because they've been doing that ever since the late 80s, early
of course.
90s.
I will say I listened to our lyrics
What was
back
it,
in the day.
hip-hop?
Yeah, I listened to our lyrics back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really listen to the lyrics that these kids sing these days. Now,
Yeah.
if it's a good hook, a beat, or whatever, I might listen to it. But my daughter, me and her spend a lot of time. My son's always gone. Me and her spend a lot of time together in the car, driving or whatever. And it was Doja Cat. I think I mentioned it last show, the show
Doja
before last,
Cat.
where she was singing a song called "Paint the Town Red," and it had a nice little hook to it. And I started singing it, and she cut the radio off. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She said, "Please don't sing that song." I'm like, "What?" She said, "That whole song, she's worshiping the devil, and she's talking about how she gave her soul to the devil and for her riches and fame." And I was like, "What?" So I went back and watched the video. I have never seen something so disturbing in all my days. Like, I get it. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay? And I had to understand the same thing I told my kids back in the day. Even, and I'm not talking about anything, it doesn't necessarily have to do with Satan. It's about drugs, guns, violence. Anything that promotes something that's detrimental to your mental health.
Or your health in general.
Yeah, you don't need to listen to it.
Yeah.
Because I'm a firm believer that if you repeat something so much, you kind of pretty much what they
you
call
find yourself going to do it. Yeah,
Exactly.
You find yourself actually fulfilling what it is that they're telling you because
And I
you
was
let that
like-
get into your mind. Again, the parents. The parents need to get. That's why parents need to really be
Right.
involved with their children from the womb until the tomb.
Exactly.
Because that way you can explain to them, hey, listen, this is what this is, and break it down. You know, the kids want their parents to be a part of their lives. I don't know of children that never wanted their parents to be a part of their lives until that parent proved that they weren't worth being in that child's life, and that the child looked at the parent and says, you know what, I wanted you to be in my life, but now looking at you, I don't even want to have anything to do with you.
And I think I sent you a video about that.
Right. And when you do not, and as a parent, and you do not get involved and sit down with them to understand, because you're not going to stop the outside world.
No.
From getting their message to you. It's going to come. Therefore, since it's coming, sit down with the kid and
you know
talk
what?
to them about it.
The thing is, and we talked about it. I think I sent you a video about it. A lot of people, you have to. Most kids want that cookie cutter lifestyle with the mom and dad, and all
kids
and
do.
a lot of kids don't get that.
And they don't get that. Yeah, a lot of kids don't get that.
And I think it was Sarita Jakes. It was either her. I think it was her daughter, but she was saying that a lot of people have to mourn. Which was just kind of
she
profound.
said
mourn.
she was saying that you have to mourn the parent that you wanted
versus
and
the
everything
one you got.
versus the one you got and go that route. And I was like, well, I don't have. It's not about why would you mourn something that you never had. That's the part I disagree with her on. I'm not gonna mourn something that I didn't have. And everything. The person that your parents are supposed to be, and they don't become that. I'm saying supposed to be, and they don't become that. They let that child down. They let, and not only did they let the child down, they let the whole whole planet down.
Let me, and I'm gonna say this. So, and we going back to the whole Will and Jada whole controversy. Okay, they have kids,
right?
And Jada has wanted to nurture them in a way where they're the free flowing and they do this and this, whatever they feel like at the moment. Because at one time, remember, Jaden walked in a skirt at some fashion show.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he was wearing a kilt.
Yeah, a kilt,
which is not a skirt.
Well, no, he did have on a skirt.
It's a Scottish thing. It's a
He
Scottish
did have
thing.
on a skirt. He did have on some kind of dress thing once.
I
after
wear
that.
kilts.
No,
I love
this was
him.
a dress.
But
at
he was
one
wearing a
time.
dress?
It was a
I don't remember that. I do remember him wearing the kilt.
something.
I mean the kilt. The kilt. I remember him wearing the
the
kilt.
But
Yeah.
now the way the way these two kids were raised versus the way Trey was raised
Yes.
by his first wife, because even in the video when we did the video with Trey. He did a video with Trey when he was younger,
Right.
about how he wanted him to see the world. Beautiful video, of a father and a son. But he even said in the video, I wouldn't hesitate to tame that tail. That's not how Jada wanted these two raised. And it was pretty much, I remember the story about Willow when she did the whole whip my hair back and forth.
Yeah.
And she wanted to be a singer.
Yeah.
And they put all this money and people hired people for this job
Yeah.
to promote, and to be out here and, her backup dancers and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And she got there one day and she's just like, I don't feel like doing it, and stopped. And I'm like, I get it. But the one thing I've always told my kids, if you're going to be something, if you're going to do something and people put their time and effort into it, like playing sports, go and try out.
Yes.
If you make the team, or if you decide before you make the team whether you want to be there or not.
Right.
Because once you make the team, then they've already picked you to make a slot, to fill a slot that they need.
Mm-hmm.
If you leave, it kind of shifts the whole program where they have to now move people around to fit that spot now.
Yes.
So the one thing I told them, you can try out up until the day they give you your jersey.
Right.
If you do not want to do it, tell me before then, because once you commit to the team, you're going to see it through to the end.
Right.
And you don't have to play it anymore after that. But you made a commitment to that team and those people, you're going to be there. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, to have someone that young, she was a kid, like 10, to then decide that all these people are fired. They don't have a job anymore. Just because she just didn't feel like it. They were doing a whole tour. And she invites Willow into conversations that she shouldn't. I'm not going to discuss anything intimate between me and my husband with my daughter.
Right.
Because that's not her place. Even down to my mom now is in her 70s. I'm in my 50s. And we talk about everything. But some things are just not a conversation that my mom's going to have with her daughters. Now, we talk about everything. Don't get me wrong. But there's always a limit. And I think that contributed a lot to his home life. I think Will is miserable.
Of course he's miserable because he wanted something and expected something and it didn't turn out. That's the plight of a lot of males in the world today, not just black.
Her mother lives with them.
Not just black, but a lot of you got white males that go through this. You've got Asian males that go through this. You've got natives. You got a lot of people that go through this and everything. They expected something because of someone that they wanted, but the person that they wanted is not. Is not that way with them because their mind is on someone else. That's just nature. It's been like that for ages and everything, and more than ages. It's been going on and on. It's just normal. The universe is, our solar system is like that.
Yeah.
Think about it. You got the sun that sits right here in the center of our solar system, right? But yet, which planet has the most life, or life the way we know it? Everybody else get messed over. Venus get messed over, Mercury get messed over, Mars get messed over. The moon, the moon get messed over.
We're
Jupiter.
in the perfect spot,
and we're in the sweet spot. We stayed where it is sweet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just how it is. But what do you do?
I think that
personally, we all have to find our way.
we do.
We have to find our way to deal with it. We have to find a way to get over it. to find a way to make it through this thing called life, because we're not going to survive it. We're not going to survive this thing called life. And since we're not,
Well,
we might as well just try to find a way to enjoy ourselves. And like someone told me tonight, she says, don't lower yourself
Yeah.
to bad grapes at the bottom of a tree. She says, how about be happy? Because you're at the top, they're at the bottom. Don't waste your time with it. Find your happiness and let them be who they are, because they're not intelligent enough to understand.
And I think that's where he is now. I think the more she talks, the
I think so,
quieter
too.
he gets.
I think so too.
So
I think
just like like Michelle was saying earlier,
Yeah.
that they say when an idiot's talking, don't argue with them, because then you don't know who the idiot is.
Exactly.
Because now the more she talks, the wilder her stories get,
and the dumber she looks.
and the dumber she looks.
And not only do she look dumb, her features begin to portray her, so she starts looking uglier. And
Have you noticed that though?
Yeah, she begins to look
She does
uglier.
not look. Even when she first did the bald head, she was still a gorgeous woman.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's starting to look aged.
Yeah.
Like in a matter of a year, she's starting to look aged. And I'm like,
kind of like women that I dated in the past,
see,
I'm only keeping it real. They look good at one point, then all of a sudden they start looking like
Exactly.
who did it and what for,
But now I guess the question is, and a lot of people disagree with our opinion of her.
Yeah.
Is it truth? Is it her truth? Or is it her just being disrespectful?
It's her truth. Let's look at it like that. It's her truth. And she doesn't care whether she's being disrespectful to him or not.
And I meant to mention, I wish Michelle would call back in. I was using her. I was coming over here and I was thinking about that question.
Yes.
I was thinking about Michelle
Mm-hmm.
and me.
Mm-hmm.
When Michelle wrote her book, she wrote her book to free herself.
Yes.
She didn't do it to be detrimental to anybody else.
That's right.
Now, if you felt some type of way about what she wrote, then that was on you and what you did.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So she didn't do it and say, this person is sorry and da-da-da-da-da-da. She just told her truth. And like I say, if you step on your toes, then then you need to assess why you feel that way.
Yes. Yes.
Just like when they said, well, when you write
Yes.
your book, are you going to name names? And I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I want somebody to hate this man or do whatever, but I had to let them know I'm not scared of you anymore.
That's right.
And if you were bold enough to wear the uniform with your name on it
Yeah.
and do the things that you did, then why can't I say your name? That's how I feel about it. And right now, but I think her book is not only what her truth is, but it's also a dig
It's a dig it in, yeah.
at will.
And she's trying to build herself up to
Yeah.
another level again, because it's like chasing the high or chasing the buzz.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's trying to get back to a
Get that
level
high that
she
she
used to
had
be,
way
yeah.
back when.
And when we keeping it real, keeping it 100. When we talk about her, and when Facebook talks about her, and when you get a lot of see a lot of Instagrams and a lot of memes and stuff, having to do with her and everything, that's what she's looking for. She's hoping, and that
She's
helps
trending.
her step. Yeah,
She
it
wants
helps
to
her
trend
get
now.
up to back up to that spot, because people thought there's no bad publicity.
No. But have you noticed that when we didn't have social media,
Yes,
she was in almost every B-rate movie that you could get in.
that's right.
But now there's social media.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to be in a movie to be relevant.
Yeah.
Will, he didn't just create a TikTok or Instagram. He actually took us on a journey. He was doing all these are the things I want to do on my bucket list. He was doing all these wild and crazy things, not nothing dangerous. Well, it was dangerous too, but he was just doing these things that made him happy.
Right.
But you notice she was never there.
That's right. She was not there.
She was in none of the videos. She did one of them, but she was in none of the videos. But she uses her social media to talk about things that's disrespectful to him.
Yes.
But that's your husband. You're supposed to be his helpmeet.
Well, they were separated. What from what I'm hearing now?
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Okay, time out.
What's up with that?
Time out. If I'm not mistaken, she said they separated in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, the red table talk that they did when she was messing around with August Alsina was before 20. I mean, it was after 2016.
That's right.
So, if you were separated in 2016, why was there a need for you to go on Red Table Talk and explain to your husband and the world that this was during a time, and she said it, when her and Will were in that, they never said separate, they said we're in a space, you know.
Sounds like trending again.
And I kept saying that don't even sound right, because she was not, this was after, and they said they were still together. But now you've been to every red carpet with him. He's always at the house whenever you're doing the red table talk, you know, when they do the red table talk.
Yes.
And because I think Kevin Hart came over and did a red table talk not long after that, and with Will. And he was like 45 minutes late, and they were together.
Here's something.
So your timeline's just not making sense to me.
Okay, here's something that maybe people haven't figured out yet. What if all of this is a gimmick? What if this was all decided 20 years ago, 10, 15 years ago? What if this was put into the head of Will Smith and was told, if you start doing this, you and Jada, if y'all start doing this now, then, you know, and make the story this way and that way, you know, you guys will be famous forever and everything. People will talk about you until the cows come home and everything. There will be some bad stuff, but everybody has bad stuff in their family. What if you have some really bad stuff going on and everything, and everybody know, and everybody doesn't know about it, but then they find out about it, and next thing you know, you're miserable and you're upset and blah blah blah. But what if you did something that made it seem like you were miserable and upset, and you're not really miserable and upset? All this does is cascade you up to another level. What if all this is just a gimmick or a gag or an act?
What do they say
on the people?
Set up for a comeback.
We've seen it
Pretty
before.
much.
We've seen it before. Where have we seen this before? Let's go back to the 1700s when the colonial the folks in the colonial government, if you will, or even before it became a colonial government, they decided to dress up as indigenous people from this country and dump tea over the ships into the Boston Harbor. Okay. The powers that be at the time were the British, and they talk crap about that. So can you believe that? And those natives did this, and those natives. It wasn't until years later they find out, you know, in the U.S. history books, that it was actually the colonialists that dressed up as Native Americans, or I'm sorry, indigenous people from this country, and dumped it over because they were too cowardly to dress up as themselves and dump that tea over into the Boston Harbor and everything. Now, for years, and you and I both know during our school year, it was celebrated as a great thing.
They're independent.
So you got to ask yourself this question, you know, what if the Will Smith and the Jada Pinkett thing is really just a trick?
I mean, to me, I think anything in Hollywood is possible. Yeah. That's just me.
Yeah.
Okay. But now I will say this. I love Will. I think I've watched every single movie he's ever done. He's the actor that can go from serious to goofy. Bad Boys is probably one of my favorite franchises, only because of not really the storylines, but the interactions between him and Martin Lawrence. I love when there's a comedic team together. I think Rock and Kevin Hart are great together. But Will, I think, and what you said might have some weight because Will Smith in this situation seems to be the underdog.
Take it back. Let's take it back a little further for something like this. Let's go back to Marvin Gaye. Okay. Everybody loved Marvin Gaye. You think about what he looked like back then in the days. He was he wore suits back in the days. He was straight laced. He was he was in the Air Force. He even did a couple of movies that most people don't know about. But, you know, Marvin Gaye was straight-laced, and he was singing these songs, and he wanted to sing Frank Sinatra songs. But later on in life, and we're talking 40, 50, 60, maybe 50 years after his death, you start getting these stories about these true stories that people's, like the people that were the closest to him, tell him about what he did. You know, for years, they never... And since you and I have been alive, they have not done not one movie about Marvin Gaye.
No.
A lot of other people they did.
They didn't do one about
Teddy Pendergrass.
the one that died at the hotel was with the girl. He ended up dead. Nobody questioned her. She was there. What is that man's name? I know somebody probably remember what I'm talking about.
What year? Approximately.
It was back in the Marvin Gaye era.
You're talking about Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke.
So you know they didn't talk. It wasn't until later when these people who were closest to him were about to die, wrote these books and told the true stories about these individuals that they were with, and you find out just what type of people they really were. Again, what if all this is a gimmick?
But you know, I think social media rules the world. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. But it's not.
I hear you.
Okay, so I think that the perception of men in the 50s and 60s,
yes,
okay, was the darker the man, right, the beard,
yeah.
Notice all these singers were almost all of them were dark skinned,
yes, beards,
right? Were supposed to be the epitome of what a black man was supposed to be.
Yes.
You didn't see the light skinned men until you saw Lionel Richie.
That's right.
Howard Hewitt, and what's the other one? The Commodores.
Right. And even when Smokey Robinson.
Yeah.
Even when Smokey Robinson was in what was the era supposed to be the black male, he wasn't really looked at. You know, nobody really paid attention to Smokey Robinson. They just heard his voice and was like, okay, Smokey Robinson, Miracles, okay, we can deal with his voice. But nobody really talked about his
Barry White.
looks. Barry
Big,
White,
heavy set guy. You know what I'm saying?
Teddy Pendergrass.
Look, Gerald Levert.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those were
Al
the epitome
Green.
of exactly what what women looked for. But now you might share the same lip gloss.
Yeah.
That's just
that is true.
So I'm just like, I think that when you said this might be a whole gimmick.
Yeah, what if it's a trick?
And I think that social media was social media long before we knew what social media was. I think that the trick of the eye, the trick of the mind started a long time before they gave us access to social media.
Yeah.
Because you notice how right around the 70s that the men started looking a lot lighter. You know, Prince, Michael Jackson, you know, those came into the era, the El DeBarge. They all started coming, and the look of the male started shifting.
Yes.
It started shifting. And I think now the whole thing with Will and Jay, you got me thinking now, because I'm like, he is the only person. He's the only person. Name any megastar. Now I'm not talking about somebody that's been in the scene maybe 10 years. I'm talking about somebody that's been in the scene 30 plus years that has not had a scandal. Not one can you name that has not had a scandal other than Will Smith. Not white nor black. Megastar from the movies has had any kind of scandal. Heck, Kevin Hart ain't even been Kevin Hart for like 20 something years, and he done had 2 or 3 of them.
I can't even begin to think of one.
There's not. I've racked my brain.
I wish I
cannot
could,
think of.
but there is nobody.
Tom Cruise,
Every
the
last one of
Wahlburger,
them.
all of them. They
Yeah.
all had scandals.
All of them had
but Will
scandals.
Smith, and all of a sudden, after all of these years, when you're on and I'm not saying his career is dwindling at all, but you're on the downswing of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're
Now
over
all of a sudden,
there's a scandal, and it's not nothing to do with what you did. It's what
something
your
just
relationship caused you to be in the middle of.
They said the three things that are for sure are taxes, death, and trouble. And trouble just found you, but it couldn't have been just that. That is extreme. Why is this happening to you, man? Well, like I said,
I'm
what
telling
if?
you, Maurice,
you have to look at it from that level.
I
What if?
love the way you research. So I'm telling you, research what I just told you
Mm-hmm.
about the old film that mimicked what happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock, because it was staged to the T.
Mm-hmm.
To the T of what happened. And I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. It's
Kind of like the Simpsons. They always predicting what's going to happen. And I think that's kind of weird too. But how they always predicting what's going to happen.
The Simpsons, when they show this stuff and it's like, this is what happened. This is what's going to happen. And you see it like years on the Simpsons and whatnot. And then next thing you know, you see it again.
But I'm gonna tell you, I just thought it was
unless life is imitating. Now
art.
There's another thing. Life could be imitating art, and those guys did that. But in some cases, that's a wee bit extreme.
Exactly.
Or what if all of this has happened before?
You know what? And I know.
What if?
I know you're not, but I'm a very religious person. Okay. But I sit sometimes and I'm like, I swear to you, I feel like I've been here before.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
when I say I get what they call a deja vu,
Yep.
and I'm like, okay, and I will sit there for 20 minutes trying to figure out where I was, because it seems like I was in the exact same spot with the exact same person, saying the exact same thing, and I'm like,
that's right.
okay.
And you're like, dang, man,
when I
was
say
this
it
a
comes
dream that I
over
had,
you,
or what?
It comes over you.
That's right.
Right, it comes
Deja vu
over
is
you.
no
And
joke.
it's a feeling that you just can't shake for a minute.
That's right.
And I'm like, nah, no, I just
But it's
started
hard to
looking
shake
around.
when it happens. That
Yeah,
that little feeling that takes place is really hard to shake because and
it's very hard to shake.
For the next 5 minutes, you actually
Just sitting
start
You're
thinking about
racking
it,
your
like-
brain trying to figure out to
like
make it
what?
make sense.
yeah,
And I'm like, this is like a movie that's played before.
yeah. Never fails.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird to me. But like I said, I was always kind of iffy about the whole Simpson thing until I saw the whole virus
Yeah.
that came from Japan or China, whichever one. But
From China, yeah.
they came from China because the guy sneezed in the box and
Trump
Homer.
with the leaders of the world, and they're touching the globe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the whole Kobe thing.
Yeah.
When I saw that one, that kind of blew my mind. That blew my, because I didn't remember it until after Kobe died, and then they started posting it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and it was like years ago,
Yeah.
like when he was like a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird.
How I know this is kind of beating off the path a little bit of what we talked about. I got to ask this question.
Oh.
Because this is current events.
Okay.
Israel versus Palestine.
Uh-huh.
And everything. Have you been? I think that's the show we need to tap on next.
We need
next go
to.
around.
I was watching and then I stopped.
Yeah. It's something that's
don't
been
like-
going on. It's something
been
that's been
going
going on, and I'm talking about in my world. Ever since I was in the my first year.
Uh-huh.
My first few years in the military, and it was because of a paper I had to write, because I didn't understand any of that when we were kids. I didn't know, I'm backwoods, so I didn't know what it was all about. I didn't know that, we was always given a one-sided situation. But it wasn't until I got older and I had to actually write a paper and had to do research on the thing. My whole viewpoint on it completely turned, and I began to talk to different people outside, and those who are Israeli or Jew, and those who are Palestinian, and talk to them about their views on the whole situation, and then was able to relate it. But one of these days, I think a show is warranted on that.
Definitely.
Especially for our listeners.
I was watching it, and I'm just never been a fan of, well, not even really a fan. Nobody's really a fan, but I've never been the type of person that watches live war.
Yes.
Because we watch it and it seems like it's a movie,
Yes.
but in real time there are real people dying, children, women, men,
Yes.
innocent people. And so I don't sit and watch. Now my dad studied, my dad went to Vietnam, and he's been in every conflict since Vietnam.
Right.
But he watches it for knowledge, and
Right.
I know why he watches it, because he wants to know, because what happens over there eventually trickles to what happens over here.
And usually what's happened over there is because of what we did.
Yeah.
We allowed it to happen and didn't care.
It's like a powder keg.
Right, and we just don't care because we're like, well, as long as it doesn't affect me and
As long
my
as
pockets.
it's not over here.
You're right, and that's something we need to get out of.
Exactly.
Because remember, because of that type of thinking is what caused our ancestors to be brought over here transatlantically and allow for those indigenous people that were here to
Exactly.
be played as far as the land that they roamed on for hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah. So I will say this. The whole, when it came out about, oh gosh, not Saddam Hussein, but the one that did 9/11. What's his name?
You talking about
Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden.
Can't think of his
Yeah.
name. Anyway, didn't know that he used to be here and trained, was under the CIA, FBI, was trained, and we're very giving to other people.
I wouldn't say giving.
I don't
There's
know.
something involved. You know,
well,
this is
well,
capitalist. This is
of
a
course.
capitalist country. So
They're
we
not
don't
gonna give anything without
right.
getting
We're not
something in
gonna
return.
give unless we get something. And there was a reason why we even pretended that we were giving, because we wanted something that
In
you
return,
had that.
yeah.
That one that we may have already had, but we wanted
More
to use
of it.
up yours, so we don't have to use up our reserves.
As much as now two sides of two sides of the coin.
Yes.
I love being in America, but I can dislike what it all stands for at the same time. I wish we would stop calling ourselves the moral police,
And we're not.
because we're not.
Right.
We are not. Have not been for a long, long time.
I don't think we ever were.
And we call it, was it
Except for once.
global police?
I think only one time. I think it was only one time that the United States was the moral police, and that was during the Civil War. That was the only time the United States did anything right,
Yeah.
and that was to deal with these racist rebels and put them in their place, and put the Confederate usurp and upstart down. Once they did that, that was on point. They should have stayed though in the South, because they left due to
Powder keg.
Yeah, after the assassination of President Lincoln, well, then the next president comes in. He doesn't give a rip. Johnson didn't give a darn.
Nope.
So he was like, "Well, take our troops from down here in the South and bring them back home. We'll let them fend for themselves." These folks ain't had guns and stuff. They had to deal with what was down here and were getting slaughtered from after the Civil War all the way through to now.
Yeah.
To the last riverboat thing until we fought back. So no, I don't. I think
Well,
that
they also call this the
I don't think we were
global
ever
police.
right. I don't think we were ever the global police. When people talk about, well, what about World War I or World War II? No, we weren't global polices back then. You got to read your history. You got to know your history, not the crap that they taught us in school, but the real deal and everything, and when you go back and you discover how this thing really took place, you're like, oh my goodness. I thought that we were, you thought. Why? Because you let them program you into thinking that's what this is.
Those books that we had when we was in social studies.
Right.
Those books, the stories that they taught us were nothing. Mm-hmm. Nothing like the stories that we found when we were older.
Exactly.
Nothing.
You know, we never even won the world. We never even won World War II. We didn't even win that war. No matter what anyone says, we didn't win that war. You take all these European countries, including the U.S., that stormed Normandy, and I'm not taking any away from the guys that fought, because I'm a vet, so I know what it's like. And then these poor guys are going off to fight another man's war. But the bottom line is, these guys go over there. You got the Russians all on one other front. Mm-hmm. They're losing millions of people. We're not losing millions of people.
No.
And if it wasn't for those guys, we wouldn't. And it's not that I'm for what's right and everything. I don't let people sway me into believing what they want to believe just because they let someone else sway them into some crap. But the bottom line is that these guys right here fought the war, and they did a great job. We had help, and we did the best we could. But if you want to count the tally, these guys won the war, and you're not giving them credit for it. Now you're mad with them. This mess that's going on now in Israel, how are you going to support this crap when you still haven't given land back to the natives that you took from here? How are you going to support stuff like that when you still have not given reparations to the blacks who you took from Africa?
And I will say this. It is when you talk about Holocaust, mm-hmm. you have to talk about it with respect, right?
Anything that happens with people, Holocausts, you can talk about it with any type of lingo that you can. But when people talk about the Jewish Holocaust, okay, you're talking about something that took place for 10 years mm-hmm. against a people that were, on top of the world in another man's country. Now, what the Nazis did was not wrong. What the Nazis did were wrong. They should not have been trying to do genocide to those people. There was a better way of dealing with that, and they took the bad road for that.
They did.
Okay. But what about the 200 to 300, 400 year Holocaust that took place here in the United States?
That's a whole other topic. We ain't gonna get it. That's what I was going for.
Nonetheless, but it's a Holocaust.
We're gonna go. We're gonna go there.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think the only difference was the fact that they pretty much killed the Jews with no questions asked, whereas they enslaved us to work for them and kill us at the same time.
Okay, death is definitely going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Death is happening.
Let's wrap it up as far as the whole thing. Give me about 2 minutes of
wrapping up of what we talked about earlier.
Just kind of sum up your idea of this whole saga of
Jada and
Will.
Will. Okay, in my opinion, Will is doing the right thing by staying out of the limelight, spend his money, and live out the rest of his life doing something else, like becoming a firefighter or something, or maybe going to work for MIB. As for Jada, hey, Jada can do whatever she wants to. I mean, it's obvious she's going to anyway. There's no stopping that. So I really don't care. Her, both of them are, if it is a trick and they're just playing it on everybody, then shame on us.
You got us fooled.
Not shame on them, shame on us.
You got us fooled. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. Like you said, Will, keep doing what you're doing, taking the high road, not paying attention to the noise that's going on, the foolishness that's going on.
Yes.
With Jada, say two things. One, whatever she is searching for, whatever she is needing,
Right.
whatever she is pining for, I hope she finds it. And I hope
Yes.
she gives her some peace.
Right.
Because right now, she's like a wheel rolling down the hill,
That's exactly right.
you know, and she's going to flatline sooner or later, but, you know, she just needs to,
Exactly right.
you know, get herself together.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this to all the women out there. We got just a few more minutes left. I think loyalty is a big thing. Now, this is a whole other topic, but I think that if you are with a man, me and my husband separated, but nobody can down him in front of me. Regardless of what I may say about him, I've earned my talk as far as
There
he's
you go.
concerned. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I've earned what I can say.
Yes.
But you can't down him in front of me.
Right.
I'm not gonna let you talk about him, you know, because that's my father's children. I mean, my children's father. But
If you don't want to go to Fifth City.
exactly. So I'm just saying, I think that when you are with someone, give them that loyalty, because
Yes.
at the end of the day, more people are gonna suffer from your wilding out talking than you're not gonna prosper from it. I put it that way. You're not gonna prosper from downing somebody else or disrespecting somebody else, especially somebody that
And your
that
life is gonna
holds
be-
you,
right,
holds you
and-
in a high regard as far as loving you.
And their life is going to be in ruins. Why? Because they've let other people into their situation.
There you go.
So they're going to give you a hard time, you know?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for talking, for keeping it 100. We enjoyed you guys tonight. Thank you to Michelle for calling in.
Yeah.
We will be back next week. You guys have a great, safe week, and we'll see you then.
Community Radio, WRLYLP.